pow, 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 pow. So right away I just thought, wow, somebody's going to get in trouble for doing fireworks at our festival.
We heard some kind of, popping. We thought it was fireworks, honestly. And then we seen a flood of people running. Once we got it confirmed, we took some people back to our house. And now, from what we're hearing, it's pretty crazy to see something like this happen in a small town like Gilroy.
We just started hearing some popping noises going off. I thought it was fireworks, and he grabbed me and pulled me out, was like, get down, it's a shooting, and I didn't think it was real. And I kind of froze, and he was like, no, it's real, and he grabbed me, and we all jumped in the trucks and kind of fled the scene, I guess.
How many shots did you hear?
It was about 40 to 50 shots. It started, and then it kind of paused for about 10 seconds or so, and then it started back up again. It just started popping off like fireworks. It sounded like firecrackers. That's what I thought it was. I had no idea until he grabbed me and he started pulling me and telling me, that's gunfire. We need to get out of here. Go, run. It started and there was a burst, and then it kind of stopped for about 5-10 seconds, almost like it was like a reload, and then it just started again. And then after that, there was just so many people running.
We were just there about 3 minutes before, and my wife and my 50-month-old and my nephews as well. And we left, and 3 minutes later, right where we were, is where everything happened. And we just heard, popping sounds, and I knew right away that there were shots, and we just heard pop, 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 pop.
And the first time I thought it was fireworks, and the second time someone from Ariat said, get down, active shooter, and I saw my peers go down, and we all started running.
And we thought we heard firecrackers. It stopped, and then we heard some more firecrackers in a different area, and then we start seeing everybody run.
We thought it was fireworks, and then that's when we realized afterwards, when people started running, we're like, it's gunfire. And so the EMTs and the armed security, we were telling them, we said, no, it's gunfire.
And I heard fireworks. It sounded like the shot of fireworks going off, and then I just hesitated for a while, and then I saw everybody run. And then I heard more firecracker type sounds. And basically I was hesitant because I was in denial. I didn't know exactly what was happening. I thought it was maybe still fireworks until everyone was running, and my fiance basically told me, let's go, everybody go.
But I remember seeing him walking up from the fence line. He just kind of appeared out of nowhere. He shot once, and it looked like the gun got jammed because he started cocking it about 3 or 4 more times. And then he brought it back up and started shooting automatic fire into the crowds. He started with the stage section, and then he worked his way to the left to where the kids were, and then towards where we were sitting behind the booths, the food booths. And I ran out of there, and when I started running, that's when I got grazed in my upper back and on my arm, and I just heard bullets flying past me. And also before I jumped on her, right when I jumped up and tried to land on her, that's when I felt the bullets hit my legs. I just felt heat, just a lot of heat on my legs. So I saw him walking up from the fence line, and then after that I watched him cock his weapon, and after that I saw the flashes and heard the shots, and then I remember watching him start the gun over here and bring it towards us where we were sitting down at. And I just remember hearing bullets flying past me as I was running. I remember feeling the heat hit my legs right after I got up.
Did you see the shooter?
No totalmente que dijéramos que la vi, pero sí el tipo corrió así, era como una camisa negra.
He was wearing a black shirt.
Yeah.
Well, we were playing at the jumper next to the stage, and what I heard, it was a big bang, but the bang was on the floor. So what I did is I walked towards where the dust was coming from the floor, right? So I went to take a look, and then when I didn't see nothing, so but when I turned around, I saw this guy that was that looked like it was a sheriff, and I thought he just he hit the trigger by accident, right? But when I saw him loading the gun and pointing at everybody, that's when I knew he was in the police. He had a brown vest with the green pants and the hat, but that's why I thought he was a police. And when I turned, I saw the shooter was coming towards us. So I just told my uncle to, hey, just stand up. We need to keep running. You can't be here. So we just kept on running. No, he was just walking and aiming, walking and shooting, but he was kind of like aiming at, he was just shooting everywhere.
And I heard a pop, and it didn't sound right to me, so I turned in the direction of the pop, and I saw a gentleman in a green top with a gray handkerchief kind of around his neck and what appeared to be an assault rifle. No, he came out from behind from the stage to our right. There's a bunch of food booths. It didn't look like he had any interaction with anybody prior to that because there was nobody around him. And he was slapping the magazine. Evidently it was jammed or something, I don't know. And then he started shooting again in the direction of where all the food people were dining. But he seemed to be somewhere between 30 and 40 would be my guess. I'm not very good at that. From my perspective, it looked like he was just firing into the biggest bunch of people he could find. I didn't hear him say anything. After, when we were under the stage trying to be safe and small, I heard somebody going, "Because I'm angry." Couldn't see him, so I don't know who it was.
You know, we were standing there, we're in the restroom, we walk out, I literally turn like this, and he's standing right there with this rifle. He's getting ready to put the bullets in it, and he just starts shooting. He's walking towards the tent where we were working.
We had just left our booth, and we had walked into the restroom, the porta potties, which were probably 25 feet away from our booth. We came out, we heard a pop, and we both looked at each other and said, "Oh, maybe it's fireworks." And then we both looked, and the gunman was about 10 to 15 feet away from us, and he had like a rifle. Oh, the automatic gun. It was a big like an assault.
A folding stock because it was the metal, the back. But
and he was putting a clip into it. And he put a clip into it, and he just started turned
and started walking and shooting. Didn't care.
Just started walking and shooting. Everybody
shooting at random.
Yeah, just randomly shooting.
And our booth was the first booth, and he ended up shooting 2 of our coworkers. But we didn't know that at the time. When he started shooting, we ran.
I have none. I mean, he was an average guy. If he was walking in a crowd, you would have never known what he looked like. I mean, he was just an average guy.
He had brown pants, shorts on, a green vest, and a brown hat. That's all we saw. And we just seen the side view of his face, and we didn't make a noise. So, I mean,
he never looked, never made a sound, nothing. Just kept going, walking towards the tent and just firing, just randomly at everything, just firing like this, and just kept walking towards the tent. And then, I never saw him shot, but I saw the suspect on the ground. He had zip-tied hands. He had blood coming from his head. He was dead. He was absolutely dead along the slide, which was probably 50 feet from. And he was wearing the same
clothes that we saw.
Yeah, 50 feet away from me when I saw him. He was laying there dead.
And he had the khaki pants and the green vest.
Yes.
So you've seen the shooter?
Yes, he was wearing brown khakis, a green vest, and a brown hat. And he was a white guy. And he had a 25 to 35, and he had a rifle, and I had a folding stock.
All I heard is just like bang bang. I thought the garbage man is trying to pick up all the garbage. I thought he just dropped the lifter because he's been doing that all day. So when I turned around and I saw this guy, it's like, oh my God, he's like holding his gun, and luckily the gun jammed, so he just changed his magazine and put a new one, and then start shooting again.
What did the gun look like? Was it a handgun? Was
it's
it a
an AK-47. All it does is just shooting randomly, basically.
I saw the guy coming from front of me and run, and they fell. I think they get shot because it's very close, very, very close, okay? I can hear very close. And not only 1, 2, 3, there's a lot, like that. And
2 shots rang out first, and at the same time the music started for the concert, so I thought it was like a opening act for the concert. But after a few seconds there were so many shots, and I saw people falling down, kids falling down. I had to jump over 3 of the kids. One bullet passed me very closely, and it hit our friend's booth, her chair, and the shrapnel got into her leg also, so she is injured there.
When the little kid asked me, was there fireworks? It's almost 6 o'clock. Then we all looked back, there wasn't no fireworks. Then I guess somebody got shot. Then when the crowd went crazy, then we heard the sound like an AK, a 9mm, another AK. It was like 3 guns, it sounded like. And then we tried to get up and go again. After 5 seconds, then the shooting started again.
I didn't really hear anything. I saw it. I watched him walk up, and he just walked up in almost like police uniform, and he just rose his gun up and started spraying out rounds all around.
Did you shoot on her?
Yeah, I watched him do it, and he hit. I was working one of the pieces of equipment here, the plate equipment, and he went right up it and then started spreading and walking across the field.
Started pretty intense about what
oh yeah.
What was he doing?
He was walking like a police officer, like he wanted to get stuff done, and it was horrifying.
We heard pop, 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 and I said some idiot firing off firecrackers. About what, Chico? About a minute later, we heard pop, 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 and then I saw the guy running with the gun, shooting at the crowd watching the concert.
I felt one of the bullets go over my head, and then we actually seen a couple of bullets fly by. And that's when we just helped everybody get out of the way, get out of the scene.
I was on the right side of the vineyard stage. I was probably around, I would say like 20 feet around from the where the shooter was. I started hearing this popping noise. At first, I thought, this might be some firecrackers because it was right next to the trampoline where the kids are. So at first, I thought it was just some firecrackers. Then I started hearing more, like it started to become like a real thing. I saw people getting down.
He let off one of the shots, and I thought it was like a firework at first. Like I was like, but then I saw him like point the weapon up like this, and he started like just a lot of shooting. One of my cousins got shot in the leg. I saw an active shooter just start spraying down everybody. He started he came up with a full vest, like full bulletproof vest, camo type pants, a hat, and basically he had the look of a police officer. And I think he had an M4, M5, an automatic weapon, and he just started like shooting everybody.
So I originally was walking away as the music was winding down, and I turned around for a quick moment, and I hear the gunshot sounds. At first I thought it was fireworks, but a man behind me screamed that those are real, those are real. And I just froze like a deer in the headlights. And all of a sudden, blindsidedly, this piece of unknown shrapnel came flying towards me, and it struck me in the forehead. Yeah, at first there was an initial 6 firing, and there was a brief pause. And after that pause, the gunman resumed firing. But after that, I didn't hear any more gunshots at that time. I ran as quick as I could. I ran about maybe 30 feet away from where the firing was happening. And I was running with the crowd towards where the buses were. And luckily, a bus was there, and I was able to get on there quickly. And I saw people jumping over the fence, people trampling over each other. It was just widespread chaos. But people were definitely in shock. There was a large silence, and some people were visibly shaking, and it was just a time of just complete shock and trying to process everything that just happened.
Oh, I thought it was a balloon. And then the other shots started coming. We saw the guy who was shooting, and we just ran. Well, basically some random dude just started shooting. Like he just pulled out a gun, and we were just eating right there. Yeah, he just shoot once, and then he stopped, and then he just started shooting repeatedly.
What did he look like? What was he wearing?
He had a cap and a bulletproof vest, but I don't know anything else. And obviously his gun.
I know you told me that at first you thought it was a balloon, right? Because why would you ever expect there to be a shooting at a garlic festival?
So we just started running backwards. We just started running through the fire. Just running.
But I heard maybe 100 shots.
100?
That's what it seemed like to me. A lot. There were a lot of shots I heard. A lot of it sounded like a lot of firecrackers at first, but it just kept going. It must have kept going for about 7 minutes or something like that. I have my 7-year-old kid and my wife, and we just laid on the floor, tried to get out of sight as much as possible in between the fryers, and it was terrible.
And we saw 4 officers right around the corner. Then they asked me, they said, where is he? What does he look like? And I basically pointed in the direction of where I heard the shots. So those are probably the officers that took the suspect down, I believe.